All right, I got a surprise coming up. I think you'll like it. It's behind my hand, and I'll move my hand in a minute. And I think you're gonna like it. I know I'm really excited about it. So stick with me. Welcome to TWC Projects. All right, you ready to see? Boom! Look at that. It's a mini excavator, and this is the one I picked up at the auction, and I'm pretty excited about it. It is, it's an oldie, but a goodie. Pretty beat up, worn out, got a lot of hours on it, needs a lot of love, missing a window and a lot of dents, but you know what? Yeah, the track's pretty chewed up too, but I think it's going to be great. It runs well, it seems to work well. I tried it out there at the auction. I'm going to try it out here today. So I'm bringing you along with me on this next step in this adventure, and I'll fill you in a minute kind of why I bought it and how I went about it and so forth. So anyway, this is the project today, is working on this a little bit, and I'll tell you more and as I get going along here. All right, so everything is running well, functioning well, started right up, sounds good. I know that the coolant is a little bit low. I checked that earlier. I filled the fuel. I don't know if I filled it. I need to check. I put at least 5 gallons in it, so you got to start it. And let's see, went around with some WD-40 and squirted a lot of the little spots. I've got the rust cutter. I'll show you that. I'm going to use that to try to hit some of the rust spots. I think the other big thing I've got to do today is a bunch of greasing. These, and I have a feeling this pin maybe I got to figure out what's loose. You can hear the bucket banging around, so once I grease it, I'll kind of see what's going on with it, but I may need to replace a couple things here and there. But overall, everything works well. Thumb works well. Articulating the arm, the boom, the blade. The blade probably needs, it's probably going to need some additional steel welded onto it. It's gotten worn a bit, but we'll fix that. And the teeth, they're kind of in the ground right now, but they're good for a little while, but they really aren't very sharp, so or point, not much of a point to them, so we've got to figure that out. But I'll probably I just needed to make sure I knew what I had here before. I'm going to try to probably get an 18-inch bucket for making a little bit narrower digs as well. Let's see, what else can I show you? The door won't stay latched, so that'll be one of the first things I need to fix so I can leave that open. Well, actually the window as well. There was a piece of plexiglass in there. Somebody had taken black tape around the outer rim, and it seemed to work fine, but I guess in transport blew out. I don't see it anywhere. I'll check with the company, see if they know anything about it, but I have a feeling it went on the side of the highway somewhere. So looks like I like that they labeled everything when they changed it last or checked it last, so 55, 70, I'll need to see what it is now. But it's definitely due for, oh shoot, there's a little lever up here. There we go. There's definitely need for oil change. The oil's black. But let's see how things look up here. Battery seems to be good. The radiator and the condenser. Condenser actually looks good. I might be able to get this air conditioning working. We'll see. I haven't tried the heat of the air conditioning. Hydraulic fluid looked a little low, so I got to top that off as well. But overall, you know what? Considering this was one of the cheapest ones at the auction. Of course, there's a couple little ones that were really old. But I think for what I need it for, what I'm doing with it up here at Bear Ridge, it's going to be perfect. And I felt like I got a decent deal on it. It was probably about half of what I've seen them go for outright. Of course, it's probably in a little more, not quite as good a condition as some of the ones I've seen, but for this is a 2006. And just for comparison to the excavator that I rented that you saw, that was 10 ton, 72 horsepower, so it was about 22,000 pounds. This one is a little over 10,000 pounds. I think it's 10,800, 10,600, something like that. So this is a 5 ton, and this is 38 horsepower. But it seems to be pretty good. We'll see when I start digging and trying to take down some trees. But I needed something heavy enough without being too heavy and powerful enough that wouldn't, not super expensive. Although you can get the giant ones pretty inexpensively, but then you can't really use them for most things you need to. My goal for this is to use this up here around the property to help. In fact, today I may try to start doing a little bit better job where I tried to with the tractor before, but I'm probably going to end up having to create a little bit of a gravel pit out here somewhere too, or a pit where I can get dirt from to bring and help level out some of these spots. I'll probably cut on the top edge a little bit and then fill this way, but I want a bit of a run on it. I don't want it to be all flat so that water stands here. So, but let's see what else. Well, I think that's a good start for now. You probably don't need to hear me talking too much, but I'll do some more, a little bit of work, like I said, do the grease, spray some of the rust, and then maybe try to use the thing a little bit today and see how it goes. And but anyway. You're here on the maiden voyage of this thing at Bear Ridge, and yeah, it's old, but it's good. I think close to 7,000 hours on it, so it's, like I said, it's lived a good life already, but we're going to keep it going, and hopefully it'll last as long as I need an excavator. So that's my plan, that's the goal, and I'll just take good care of it. I'll clean it up a bit and maybe paint up some things and fix some dents, and just so it feels a little bit better. Not quite so beat up and tattered, but I love it. I'm excited. And can't wait to get to using it, so I'll stop talking and get to work here. Took a long time. Still working? All right, took a long time, but you can see the grease coming out there and start pushing out here. I'm not seeing any down in here though. Maybe I'll keep pumping a little bit more. It really probably just needs an absolute ton. And over here you can see the grease coming out right there. So let's see. Oh yeah, and up here. So yeah, I bet this thing won't rattle so much once I find the rest of the grease fittings. All right, so I'll do more in other places, but this is, you've seen me use this rust cutter before. If not, I did a video on this with the lawnmower. It's unbelievable what it did to it. So you spray it on, you just leave it, and it eats away at the rust. Might take more than one time, but just once even helps. And then it leaves a little bit of a black coating on it, not necessarily paint, but it's still so that it isn't just exposed. And you know, it's a quick, something you can do kind of quickly and slow the rust down or stop it. So worth going back and checking out that video. I'll put in the description, I'll put a link to that video where I talk a lot more about this and demonstrate how it actually works and where to get it. So. All right, I was making good progress, and then I ran into, looks like another problem. Hopefully it's just trying to figure out where the leak is coming from, but I could see some hydraulic fluid coming squirting out. This guy's been up before. They've kind of patched it, but well, I've given it a workout and it's been working pretty well, so might be time to stop. I don't know. I sat through a big rainstorm waiting it out so I could try it out and see how well it worked taking down trees. Obviously that's why I needed it to be a little bit bigger, and it looks like it's doing a great job. But of course there's going to be some mechanical things here and there, I guess, so it's all good. I'll see if I can fix it. If not, I'll probably end up wrapping this video up and calling it a day. I've been up here a while. Like I said, I had a big rainstorm that came through, and I ended up just sitting in the truck and taking a little nap for about an hour, and took about an hour and a half to 2 hours. The storm passed through, and then I got back to work. So that's what's going on right now. Let's see if I can fix this leak, and if not, then I'll figure out what parts I need and come back and fix it next time. So looks like it's coming out right here. Huh. As soon as I popped it back out of the lock, it took the hydraulic pressure off, so it stopped squirting, but it's squirting right out of here. So, not sure what I'm gonna do, but I can't keep losing fluid. And by the way, the rust cutter I was spraying on this morning, those are the spots that were all rusted before, and that's what that rust cutter does. Cleans it right up. Let's see if we've got some, I don't know where the other ones were, but does a good job. All right, so that's the maiden voyage. I'll show you what I did here, and tell you kind of my first, what's going on with this thing. Woo, slippery. All muddy because we had that rain, so far it's working great. I don't feel like it's underpowered. I think it's you know, I was a little worried because the other one that I rented was twice the horsepower and twice the weight, but this guy's doing great. I feel like it's doing well. I mean, it's a little different because partly because I'm in the mud right now and I wasn't in the mud before, but it's running well. I had that leak, which seemed to stop when I left the thumb. Is when I tried to retract the thumb all the way that it started squirting out, and then so if I left it in a different position, it stopped squirting. So I've got to figure out how to fix that. But for now, at least I was able to keep functioning. And oh boy, definitely really muddy right now. But yeah, so there's something going on in here. And I think this is like one of those high flow, I don't know, it's a Pioneer coupler, but what kind of coupler it is, I think it's a typical quick attach coupler, but yeah, this was squirting out. It looked like it was coming out right here. So thing needs definitely some care right now, some love. I gotta do a lot more greasing on it. I greased where I could. I found that one fitting was completely plugged up, and so I couldn't even grease that. But definitely these couplings down here are pretty loose, and not as bad though. As soon as I put the grease in it, it got rid of a lot of that clanking and banging, and everything was flopping around. But of course, because they're so worn, I imagine that, you know, even grease will only hold it for a little while, and then the grease will squeeze out, and I'll be back to where so I'm gonna have to probably figure out where to get those coupling pins, and also I think I really do need a smaller bucket for doing this kind of thing, digging around trees, because this big 24-inch takes a lot more work, whereas the 18-inch with good teeth on it busted right through those roots really quickly. I think that's really the difference between this excavator and the other one. Well, obviously it did have more power, but I don't think that's so much the issue as the size of the bucket and those you know, blunt teeth. So something else I got to figure out is I'm, I'm going to clean this thing up here because I can't leave it totally a mess all the time. And I'm going to need to get some of this mud out of here. I'll scrape out some of it with a stick, but I need to figure out how to get a power washer set up here. I'm thinking maybe if I can get some kind of a water tank, and I've got my generator and I can run my electric pressure washer. I think that would probably be fine as long as I have enough water for it. But anyway, all good problems to have, I would say. And overall, no regrets so far. Hopefully I don't have any, based on, the fact that like I said, I paid probably just about half of what some of these are going for. I don't, even if I have problems, I think I'm still ahead of the game for now. But I knew, I had a sense of what I was getting into. I didn't 100% know, but, I had a good sense. And anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. So thought you would enjoy seeing this. I think I put out the video. I probably put out the video already. Me going to the auction, or I'll do it after this one if I haven't already. But it was a great experience, and really liked the auction company that I dealt with up in Pennsylvania. So I don't think I'll buy any more equipment without trying to do that way first. It was, like I said, really good. And and I need some, probably at some point I'll need a grading bucket as well for this thing. And so I got a lot of work. You'll see a lot more of this guy, along with a lot of my others. Sorry, my hands are a little dirty. You'll see a lot of others going on, other things I'm doing out here too with this thing and my tractor and whatever else I need, eventually get the sawmill out here. So, all right, so before I wrap this video up, I wanted to at least share kind of what I'm kind of through the woods over here, because obviously I've already cut the road. But this is another trail I'm putting down in here for the purpose of eventually putting my sawmill down here. And so I'm going to come down in here a little ways and then open it up, get a bit of a clearing in here so that I can move around and operate. But the reason I'm starting it now, even though the sawmill is probably a long ways away from bringing it up here, is because I've got a lot of logs and I'm cutting them up, and I need to figure out where I'm going to store them, put them. They're all over the place right now, so that's the biggest challenge I have. In an earlier video I mentioned that I learned a bit that I wished I had known when I started this process, which was to get the pulpwood companies involved before I went too far, because by the time I contacted them, the trees were already drying out too much. They didn't want any part of them, and so I missed out on the opportunity of having somebody come and take them away. And I can't really burn this many trees, the tops and stumps. I'll probably have to at some point figure out how to do that, but a lot of it's just going to end up in a pile, unfortunately, and I don't know, it'll probably just rot away in piles, which is a shame. That's not what I originally wanted to do, but it's, it's a lot, and you can't really transport it. And so anyway, it is what it is, and I'm learning all the time. So I've got, luckily, 21 acres of land, a lot of woods, so I've got places to put it, and it'll be fine there. So I just want to let you know what was going on here, why I was cutting kind of a new trail into here. And this will come down and open up down in this area, and it'll be a sawmill area. And then I think eventually I might go a little further down, and it'll end up being the put a tree house down by the brook and on the hillside where it's got a nice view. So, but for now, this is the next project that I really didn't mean to get started too much on today. I don't really want to take down any more trees, but I did want to make sure I broke in that excavator, and I don't mean broke, but want to make sure I tested the excavator taking down trees. And I didn't want to take down trees just, I didn't want to take down trees just for the heck of it. I wanted to actually take down trees that needed to come down. So this is basically the area, though, right in here. So I'll kind of just keep opening this up a little bit more. A lot of the property is, hillsides and valleys, so this happens to be a little bit of a flat, open area, and kind of hard to see through the woods, probably from through the camera, but there's the excavator up there. So that's the path will come right down through here, and then I'll start opening this up in here for the sawmill. So that's that. I thought I'd let you know why kind of what I was doing there, beyond just testing out the excavator, testing it with a purpose. So I'll say I think we'll wrap it up today for this one. Thank you, as always, for helping me create things, fix things, and of course enjoy God's amazing creation outside. I just love this place up here. It is so wonderful, and even when it's wet and muddy, it's still beautiful. Even when it was downpouring rain, I just was really just enjoying it up here. So I'm very grateful. And let's see what else. I guess I would say, if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when new ones come out, hit the like if you liked it. Definitely share with friends. This channel's slowly growing a little bit, and I'm grateful for all of you who are watching and who just like to keep tabs on what I'm learning and what I'm getting done, and see this Bear Ridge property start to take shape. So I hope you're enjoying that and rooting for me a little bit. I appreciate it. And so until next time, have a fantastic week, and I will see you on the next project.